Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of Los Angeles City Council's Planning and Land Use Management Committee. My name is Marquise Harris Dawson. I serve as chair of this committee. We're joined by our vice chair, Mr. Bob Blumenfield, and members, Mr. Karen Price, Mr. Greg Smith. We have a tight agenda today. Mr. Mejia, the first order of business will be to grant a continuance on item number 5 until August 6th, 2019. Yes. Without objection, that'll be the order. And then we have some public comment. So everybody on the general public comment card section, you've signed up to speak on more than one item. So we'll give you 2 minutes for each item. Call your name, you'll come to the center podium and begin your testimony. So I have Antonio Ramirez, Red Chief, Corey Schmidt, Patricia McAllister, Herman, and George Bazzetti.
I'm sorry, could you reiterate that one? I want to be clear. 1 minute for public comments and 1 minute for all the items,
yeah,
right?
because you signed up on 6 things, so you can talk about any of the 6 items on the agenda.
So
yes.
I get 1 minute,
yeah.
huh? Okay, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, enforcing the rule of law and demanding reasonable public safety level is a priority, which Eric Garcetti and City Attorney Michael Feuer and the LAPD Chief of Police, Michael, have failed to serve and protect legal law-abiding citizens. That's why we are living in a cesspool. However, again, there are wonderful LAPD officers like the ones we have here in the chambers, and there are a lot of good ones out there, both deputies and LAPD. God bless them, and one day I will give you a list of who they are, and I will also expose the son of a bitches. But we are trying to work, but what the city has been doing is what they've been is aiding and abetting these goddamn homeless wetbacks, Chango Latino wetbacks and gangbangers, your white trash junkies and your niggers. And again, all they do is serve and protect them. But when legal law-abiding citizens like women who are being victimized by these assholes every single night and day of theft crimes, stalking crimes, etc., we are ignored, we are deemed nuts, etc., by officers. So again, we want more focus by our faggot mayor who hates women. We want him to focus on protecting women who are homeless. It's all women of color, all white. They're white women, black women, and Latina and Asian women. All these women have been victimized by these son of a bitch. I've also come to find out that these son of a bitch assholes are in fact gays, homosexual, bisexual motherfuckers. Most of them are gays and bisexual motherfuckers who prey on women. That is a fact. Go out there and ask the son of a bitches, are you a fucking fag or a straight dude? And they'll tell you they're bisexual or gay. So most of them are hurting women out there. Fuck them. And now, again, I'd like to wish Vicente Fox, happy birthday. Today is his birthday. Ex-Presidente of Mexico, God bless you, sir. Forgive me, I didn't wish you a happy birthday. Feliz cumpleaños.
That's your time.
And do I get the 1 minute?
No, you're done. Thank you. All right. Anybody else from the list that I called?
Name's Corey Schmidt. All right, so this is in regards to item number 4. Sounds kind of like something that I talked about in regards to planning, and which makes me question. I'm not too opposed to it, but based on the public, what's in the public file, the map is not color coded, so it's not clear as to what is actually being proposed without reading the 150-page document that's within it. So also there was no warning or communication about this, so I'm just learning about it today, so really just no preparation, and yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you. Anybody else from the list?
I gotta make sure I'm on topic. I don't see any of my general public comment here for 1 minute, but I'll get into general public comment now. As you already know, Clarence Brandenburg versus Ohio, US 39544. Why have white nigger politicians put me in the back of a housing development future? I don't need your motherfucking housing development, nigga. I don't want it. I told Janice Hahn, for the record, take Lhasa and shove Lhasa up your white fucking cunt. Because I don't need housing. I, like the rest of us poor niggas, want to sleep on the street, have a lien on our property so we can all be equal. Except for those that are rich, stealing out of the monies of the general public funds. After all, Herman Jason Wesson can pay for his own $400 an hour attorney to settle a dispute whether or not Eric Faggot Garcetti, our mayor, the LGBTQ queer, is really doing bad business on behalf of public interest. Although he did take a few trips to create a use of general boundaries for public housing, we find out the dumb motherfucker went to a place called Israel. And as I said before, US 395, fuck Israel and send the bastards back. We don't need no motherfuckers in our constitutional betterment. Let's save America and fuck all you white politician niggers who know that for a fact we're living in a shit cesshole called California just because Harris Dawson's been stealing money and plum and taking money in the back end of his brown eye. So we know the truth. Current price of the bigamist, and Herman Wesson Jason sucks my big white little cock.
Any other speakers from the queue?
Good afternoon, Mr. President. First, I'd like to mention the planning department and how it operates. Nowhere on this document and the links can you find anything that the planning department publishes. I went to the planning department. I said, I want to see the plans for this city for the next year or two. They wouldn't give me anything. And they don't publish anything. And they're not supposed to do that. What the city is planning, we as citizens have the right to know. And I haven't gotten it yet. And I've done it in Chicago. I'm the one who discovered in Chicago the gentrification, that they were tearing down homes and moving black people out. How did I find out? I went to the planning department and they gave me the plan. That's how I found out. But you guys are hiding the plan. Now, number one, you plan to tear down some single-family homes and build for some parking for bikes and a storage facility. You're going to make the people homeless and then build a storage facility on their property. See, that's not right. And you hide this. It's like the gentleman said for number 4. He never even heard of this, that you were going to do this on number 4. Take some redesign. Some buildings, existing buildings, tear them down. See, you're not letting us know, and the planning department is publishing nothing. And I'm going to look into this because this is illegal. The planning department has no right to hide what is planning, because when it hides it, we have no opportunity to come in here and disagree with you. Before you put it on this, and this menu is so vague. It's so vague, it doesn't explain anything. And then when I click the link, it says nothing. It has nothing. All the other departments, we come to the meetings, we can click the links and get some information about other meetings, what you discussed, what you voted on. We get nothing from the planning department. And you know what that tells me? You're up to no good. These people on the street, that was planned. Them laying out there on the street and you tearing down housing, that was planned years ago. And you implementing your plan, but God's going to stop it. And we're going to bring his wrath down on all of you.
Thank you. We'll ask Mr. Herman to extinguish the light that is glaring up into the front of the room. And that'll be your first and last warning, Mr. Herman. Thank you. I think that concludes our general public comment. Yes, Mr. Cedillo, making a timely entrance. I think Mr. You want to hear from Mr. Herman again? No. All right, so we'll continue with a full complement of committee members. Mr. Mejia will consider items number 2 and 3 together, which I'll recommend that we adopt those matters on consent. You can
Okay.
read those into the record.
Sure. Item 2, Councilman, this is a motion corrects through. It's instructing city planning, along with building and safety and engineering, in consultation with city attorney, along with DOT, to prepare an ordinance that will incorporate amendments to the Bel Air Crest Supplemental Use District. And item 3, sir, is a report from the Planning Commission. It's a zone change. It will demo a single-family home and construct a self-storage building located in CD6.
All right, we have some public comment speakers on those matters. David Lowe's? My apologies.
Councilmember Adrian Corsani, City Attorney's Office. You have comments on both items number 2 and 3, or are you taking them separately?
I was taking them together, yes.
I don't think they're related, so just if the speakers could just be clear as to which one they're speaking
Okay,
to.
perfect, thank you. Yes, sir.
I'm Donald Lowe's. Thank
Lowe's.
you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I encourage your adoption of the motion and sending it on to the department. We thank the department for their cooperation. We've been meeting with the staff of CD4 and CD5 now for 3 years, and we have a number of things that need to be improved, and I hope you'll give it to us quickly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and that was on item number 2 you were on. Thank you, Mr. Lowe's. And then I think we have a representative from Council District 11 on this? No?
No, that's in CD5, Councilman.
CD5?
Yes, sir.
No from CD5. All right. So I move that we take both these items, adopt both these items on consent. If there's no objection, that'll be the order. And then we will go to item number 1.
Item 1, Councilman, is Mr. Bertoni's weekly report.
Thank you, Chair Harris Dawson, members of the committee, Vince Bertoni, Director of Planning. And my update today, I just want to be relatively brief. I've asked Tricia Keene, our Deputy Director for Resource Management, to give an update on our home sharing ordinance, and particularly it went into effect July 1st, yesterday, and just to give you an update in terms of it going into effect and the online registration process that's been going on. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Keene.
Thank you. Tricia Keene, Deputy Director of Resource Management Bureau. As you know, the city's home sharing registration portal is now up and running. Although it was officially launched yesterday, we did make the registration link live over the weekend and did get some hits on it. As we've noted in the past, the registration process is completely online, including the ability to pay the registration fees. Our department's website is fully set up with information about the home sharing registration process, a link to the registration form, and a detailed video showing everything you could ever need to know about how to complete the registration online. Between the soft launch over the weekend and the official launch yesterday, we've had no reports of technical difficulties. We've got the online system working smoothly. And as a reminder, hosts who submit registration applications and who appear to have met the minimum requirements will receive pending registration numbers. That number will be available to post on any of their hosting platforms so that they can show that they've registered with the city. Some stats as of 10 o'clock this morning. Our home sharing registration portal has received about 900 visits from potential hosts. A total of 93 actual applications have been submitted already. Over 80 of those applications were submitted yesterday. Of the 93 applications that we got, 91 have already received their pending registration number. And for the few that haven't received a pending registration number yet, it could be for a variety of reasons, including proposing to host in a property that's not eligible, like RSO or covenanted affordable, or just needing to submit some additional information that could be happening or need some additional review that we will be doing over the coming weeks. Eligible hosts who are currently operating have until October 31st to register prior to enforcement beginning. Anyone who wants to host who isn't currently operating can register at any time. But if you're currently operating, we're asking that you register prior to November 1 so that you can get everything in order prior to enforcement beginning. As mentioned, enforcement will begin on November 1st, but as a note, if there is a host that is trying to register who is not eligible, we will not authorize home sharing during that period. If they apply and their property doesn't qualify or they cannot prove eligibility, we won't be issuing a pending number to them. Another thing to note is that we do have a home sharing hotline and email account. Those are up and running. As of this morning, we've received and addressed over 65 calls and 130 emails. The hotline's available 24 hours a day, and we are getting requests for general information, already requests about how to handle noise complaints, and inquiries about how to report nuisance claims. So we will be doing continuing education through this 4-month registration period to make sure everybody knows what to do prior to when enforcement starts. So all told, things seem to be running pretty well in the first couple days of this, and we're looking forward to this continuing to roll out.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Questions or comments on this, members? What's the sort of daily traffic kind of been on the site? Are we getting, I guess, do you know if we're getting a lot of people who visit and don't do anything, or if most of the people who come are actually at least trying to fill out an application?
So we're actually getting a fair number of visitors, which we expected in the early days of this, that people would come, stop by, get some information, but not actually try to submit an application yet. Since Saturday, when we started tracking this, we've had a total of just under 4,100 visits to the home sharing webpage. About 900 of those have gone through to the registration page. And then we've had a variety of people clicking on different resources that are on our home sharing webpage, with the highest number being the FAQs, about 1,600 clicks through that link, just starting from Saturday to today. So we are seeing a decent amount of traffic, and I'd expect that as people get more familiar with the process, we'll see an increasing number of registration applications submitted.
Cool. Thank you. Mr. Blumenfield.
Is there any geographic indications, like are all the folks coming from one area or another that have registered?
You know, we don't have that data in front of us yet, but we'll find that out and report back to you at a future meeting so we can get the geographic breakdown of the applications submitted. We wouldn't know for the click-throughs because those are tied to IP addresses, not physical addresses, but we'll be able to tell for the actual registration applications that get submitted.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to track that with different campaigns to get people aware. So, if we do in conjunction with the council office, we do a big awareness campaign or a mailer or something to see if that tracks, for us also to learn what's the most effective way to communicate. It's sort of at a unique point in time that some of those metrics we might be able to get now that'll be much harder later on.
Yeah, we would be absolutely happy to track that and to certainly work with any offices who want to help get information out. We have an outreach and education campaign plan that involves a number of outlets, including digital, social, and probably some physical mailing as well, and certainly flyers at events. Be happy to work with council offices to help expand that.
Great.
Mr. Price.
Thank you. So how long does the process take? Once someone is logged on, filled out the form, punched, send or ready, do they get something back immediately, a week later, a day later, or when do they know that they're in the system?
So as long as you qualify based on the application requirements, the submittal requirements that are listed, so there's a number of sort of prerequisites to being able to do home sharing, you will get your pending registration number immediately. So we're talking a matter of minutes, actually, if you have all the documentation lined up when you start the registration process.
And it's good for a year, 2 years, 5 years, or?
Yeah, so it's good for a year at this point.
And so renewals will be this time next year or in January, or what?
So it would be a year from when you register, and we expect that there will be a lot of registrations during this 4-month period, but then going forward, they will be on a rolling basis when people are interested in starting home sharing if they're not currently operating. So they could be spread out over the year.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right, we will thank you for the insightful report and the work that you all have done. I know this has been much anticipated throughout the city and throughout the community, and so we're excited to see the progress in the very, very early days. So we'll continue the director's report and go to item number 4.
Item 4, Councilman, this is a report from the Planning Commission. It's a draft zone change ordinance to effectuate queue conditions on multifamily properties located in CD 11.
Hi, good afternoon, council members. My name is Renata Dragolin from the Community Planning Bureau of the Department of City Planning. The West LA Multifamily Queue Qualified Conditions Ordinance was prepared as a companion piece to the Expo Corridor Specific Plan when the department became aware of concerns in this area regarding the scale and compatibility of new multifamily development with existing conditions. The Expo Corridor Specific Plan should be coming to the Plum Committee and the City Council for final adoption shortly after the council recess. Given the popularity of Expo, we anticipate high likelihood of redevelopment and therefore the need for these queue conditions. The proposed ordinance before you will apply to multifamily zone parcels generally bounded by Centinela Avenue to the west, San Vicente Boulevard to the north, 405 to the east, and Lagrange Avenue to the south. The properties are located in both the West Los Angeles and the Brentwood Pacific Palisades Community Plan areas. The proposed queue conditions are design standards for new multifamily development aimed at addressing concerns with scale and compatibility of new development by regulating features such as building form and orientation, vehicular access and parking design, as well as architectural treatment. These conditions would apply to approximately 2,300 properties ranging in zoning designation for RD 1.5 to R3. They do not change the underlying zone, including allowable FAR, density, height, use, or parking requirements, and would work with existing affordable housing incentive programs like the statewide density bonus and the citywide TOC guidelines. Implementation would involve staff-level administrative review to ensure compliance with these conditions. This concludes my presentation, and staff is available for questions.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions or comments for staff members on this item? All right. Well, thank you. And we'll begin our public comment with a input from Council District 11.
Good afternoon, council members. Len Nguyen, Senior Planning Deputy for Council Member Mike Bonin. First off, wanted to thank the department on behalf of the council member for their work on the proposed ordinance. The public outreach workshops were well attended. What we heard at the workshops was the desire for well-designed projects that were well articulated and set back to prevent the big box effect. These proposed queue conditions address these issues in a thoughtful way while promoting pedestrian walkability and aging in place. And as such, C11 supports the proposed ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have one public comment speaker on this item, Corey Schmidt.
Okay, so most of you probably already heard what I said, but for the people that haven't said it or that weren't here for it, I was looking at it. I haven't heard of this at all. This is the first time hearing about it. And I checked the map and I tried to take a look at what was proposed because I have been speaking about planning in this area, and there are different ideas. And the map that's provided in the public file is not color coded, so it's unclear what's actually being proposed. So I can't really say whether I'm for it. So at this point, I'm against this.
Thank you. All right. I'll make a motion that we approve and recommend that the council adopt pursuant to the Los Angeles Metropolitan Code Section 12.32F, adoption of a zone change from the various designations for the selected parcels identified within the project area, and we approve the qualified conditions of approval and adopt the findings. If there's a second. Seconded by Mr. Cedillo. Hearing no objection, that'll be the order. All right. Mr. Mejia, can you confirm that that concludes our business for today?
That concludes our business for today.
Excellent. We're adjourned. Thank you so much.